Welcome to Introduction to Maya series. I am your instructor Rohan Page. In this video, we will see the fundamentals of rigging. In this video, we will learn about the parenting process. Let's start with the session. The first thing we need to understand in fundamentals of rigging is creating hierarchy, a basic hierarchy. To create hierarchy, we must understand the process of parenting. You can create hierarchy with the help of creating groups or else with the help of parent option. Parenting is nothing but the process of placing objects into an organized group. In this group, a leader object is called as parent, whereas followers object is called as child. Let us see how it works. I'll create a basic polygon cube and I'll duplicate it to create multiple cube. I have 3 cube in my scene. Each of the cube is a separate cube. They have the independent transformations and nothing is getting affected because of these transformations. There is no effect of one cube's transformations on other cube transformation. There is no follower, there is no leader right now, and you can also see it from outliner. Go to window, outliner. To understand about outliner or to know about outliner, you can see the video of outliner window which I have explained in earlier video. So in this outliner you can see the camera and the other object and the 3 cubes listed over here. Right now each cube is a separate cube, separate object which is neither following any of the hierarchy, right? So basically while we create a group, when we create a group, the cubes or the objects follow some hierarchy, right? So what is the basic hierarchy of the group? uh, Simply what we can do is we select the objects and then we go to edit and group. To know about grouping you can follow my the video about groups. So Control G is the shortcut. Click, and as soon as I'll click on the group, you can see there is a hierarchy created in the outliner and the name of that hierarchy is group and the pivot of the group is at the center. So if I'll open this, you can see all the 3 cubes are placed in one hierarchy named as a group. They are in a group, but still their transformations are separate. Independently we are moving it, and the movement of one object is not affecting any object. Still there is no what you can say child or parent kind of a thing in these within these 3 cube. But if I'll select this group, it is going to select all at a time where you can move all of them. So now this is the basic hierarchy of a grouping, but let us understand how we can create a hierarchy of a parenting and how it is different from grouping, right? So what I will do is I'll just ungroup it. Now there is no group, and again I have 3 cubes independently placed in outliner. For creating a child-parent relationship, first you must understand that which object is going to be your lead or the main object of the hierarchy. Suppose I want this object to be the main object of this hierarchy. So, and this will be the child of this cube and this other object will be child of this one, right? So both objects are going to follow this one, right? So just select your child objects, then select your parent. I am using shift or I am holding shift at the time of selection. Then go to edit, and option is available over here called as parent. P is the shortcut for performing this command. Click on parent. When I'm selecting this parent object, you can see my two other objects are also getting selected, and Polycube 2 and Polycube 3 are now under the hierarchy of Polycube 1. There is no name of a group, it is not creating a group, but the other two objects are listed under the hierarchy of a Polycube 1. If I'll open it, you can see Polycube 2 and Polycube 3. Though it is in a parenting process, though it is a child of a parent, still you can move the child independently. But when I'll move my parent object, your child objects are going to follow it. Not only translation, but also they will follow the rotation, right? But when you are rotating your parent object, child objects are orienting around the pivot point of the parent object. While you can, when you are selecting the child object and rotating them, they are rotating, they are orienting around their own pivot, which is at the center. But when I am selecting the parent, they are rotating around the pivot point of parent object. So suppose you have moved the child object, you can place it anywhere, but when you will select it, select the parent, they are going to follow it. It is maintaining the distance wherever it is. It is not affecting the distance which we have created with the help of transforming them into the 3D space. But when you will select parent, they are going to follow them. Right. So what if you don't want to keep this into the hierarchy? Right now, both the cubes are following this parent object. But I don't want this object into the hierarchy. To remove it, you need to select parent object, shift select your child object, go to edit and use unparent command. Shift P is the shortcut. Now you can see in my polycube hierarchy there is only one cube, whereas polycube 3 is out of my hierarchy. That means there is only one child in my hierarchy. If you want to make this cube a child of this polycube 2, then you should again select this, shift select second and go to edit parent. Now see how it is different than the first hierarchy. I'll open polycube 1. The polycube 2 is under the hierarchy of polycube 1. Now there is another hierarchy. This plus sign is the indication of hierarchy. There is something listed under polycube 2. Click and you will see polycube 3. So this is the basic difference. First of all, when I applied the parenting, I made these two objects as a child of this polycube 1. So both of the objects were listed under polycube 1. Whereas now I have made this object a child of this object, and this is the child of the first object. So now there are two hierarchies within. The main hierarchy is a polycube 1 and sub hierarchy is a polycube 2, whereas the last children object is polycube 3. This is the way to create the hierarchy with the help of parenting. Now let us just use it on any kind of object, other object. With the example, suppose I have this snowman and I'll just turn it on. Alright, you can see that I have made this as a basic object just for the sake of the example. Now all objects are separate, there is no hierarchy, there is no connection within them. As a whole, this object is made up of separate basic primitives. Now I want to create a hierarchy. In this hierarchy, I want to make this object, polysphere 1, as the base and the main leader of the group, so that when I'll select it, I should be able to move my snowman. Then going down to the hierarchy, it will work as the spine of my object. So when I'll select it, head should get selected. When I'll select head, eyes and the nose should be the child of head, right? So let us create the proper hierarchy for it. First of all, select this, shift select eyes, and then select head, because head is the leader for these three objects. Select nose, shift select eyes, then select head. Go to edit parent, right? I'll just rename this polysphere as head. In head I have nose and I have left eye and right eye, right? So when I am selecting head and rotating it, eyes and nose are following it, right? So this is how we have created it. Now I'll just go to front. You can change the pivot point to the down area so that it will work as a head, right? Okay, the next thing is head should follow spine, so that I'll just rename this as a spine, or a lower body, you can say. Head should be the child of spine. So you need not to again select all sub-objects and parent it. You just need to select head hierarchy, shift select spine, press P. Now under spine hierarchy, all of the upper body part, that is head, nose, hair and eyes, are there. So open the spine, there you have a sub hierarchy head, and there you have your objects, right? So when I'll move my spine, head is going to follow it. I'll just select the base, I'll name it as the base. Spine should follow the base. So select this base, shift select this spine hierarchy, shift select this base, press P. So it will parent. There is a base hierarchy. Inside it we have a spine hierarchy. Inside it we have a head hierarchy. Inside it we have subchilds. Right. Now the remaining part is only hands. So consider it as a forearm, and this is the arm. And now what I'll do is, let me just change the pivot of this object first. Right, I just rename it. Right arm, left arm. So now I'll select the forearm, shift select this arm. Also I'll move the pivot of this arm at this area. Right. Select forearm, then arm, press P. Right arm. Select this and press P. Left arm. Now these both hands should be under the hierarchy of spine. So select both of them, shift select spine, press P. Right. So when I'm selecting base, I'm able to move the whole object. When I'm selecting spine, I'm able to rotate, move the upper body, and where the upper body parts are also following it. When I'm rotating this hand, you can see the lower arm is also following it. Right. Sorry. Now if you'll see, We have main hierarchy base, and under the base hierarchy there is a spine hierarchy. Under spine hierarchy we have head, right arm, left arm hierarchy, and if you'll open those respective hierarchies you will find out your respective child object, right? So in this way we can create hierarchy with the help of parenting. So let us see what we have learned in this video. What we learned, we have seen that parenting is the process of placing objects into organized hierarchy, right? So where you can say that in hierarchy, parent is the leader and follower object is known as a child. We can use edit menu where we have the options of parent and unparent option to perform this parenting process. The hotkey for parent is P, whereas the hotkey to unparent is Shift P. If you have any query, you can follow me on Facebook. You can write me an email on rohan.pagianimator@gmail.com, or you can join my classroom, or you can subscribe to my channel Rohan Pagi. Thank you.